Alright everybody, let's get started. Again, I'm here at 276. Gonna be riding up towards Caesar Head. Caesar's Head is a state park just north of Greenville. It's got a lot of good trails and a lot of wildlife sightseeing. They're known for the hawk migration up here. And they got like 6 waterfalls, and I think Raven Cliff Falls is the most popular. Then they got the rock formation they call Caesar's Mouth. It's kind of like a rock platform you can go out. And it's got pretty good sights, good vantage point. And then there's actually also the Devil's Kitchen. That's where a rock kind of split in two, and there's like a narrow passageway in between it, and you can go traverse down there. I think it's like some steps or something that you can go down through. I've never done it, but and if you want to hike out and do some camping, there's just some primitive sites. There's nothing for RVs or that kind of stuff, but I believe it's about 3,000 feet in elevation. So it's a nice little climb. At the top, that's where the state park, there's like an information center. Spots you can park. I was kind of surprised to hear that actually they blocked off the area to Caesar's Mouth. You used to be able to park on the kind of in the dirt there, and they blocked it off with a barrier. I'm not sure why, but and the road up here is kind of getting beat up a little bit. Need to go and repave it. So I'm riding a 23 Honda Goldwing Tour. I think it's a pretty good bike. I like it. I do have kind of 2 complaints about it. Here's where that rock formation is, Caesar's Head, or Caesar's Mouth. This is where they blocked it right here. I'm not sure why, but yeah, you can walk out onto the rock platform. So the Honda Goldwing is supposed to be this awesome tour, which it is. And it's pretty nimble. You know, back in, I think 2018, they made a change and they kind of slimmed it down. You still got a lot of coverage though on the fairings, plenty on the windscreen. It goes up pretty high. You even have these little wings on the bottom part here that helps you cover some more of the wind that hits the front fairing. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I've been in some rain today and just put the windscreen up and it pushes the rain out. But my 2 complaints are the bike needs to have bigger saddlebags. I don't know why they make them so small. I came out for the concourse, the Kawasaki concourse, and you gotta be able to put a full space helmet and a saddlebag. That way, if you're out touring, it's enough room for all your stuff. If you're out just riding in the day, you got somebody a pillion on the back. You got spots for your helmets. I know the trunk here fits 2 full-size helmets, but that's really where all your storage is. And I put my rain gear or my saddlebag or some tools, that kind of stuff. But I wish they would have had made it a little bit bigger. I know BMW came out with their expandable ones. I think it's made from GV. And that's what it needs. I guess my other little complaint, which is not a really big deal, is on the handlebars where they position the horn. So over here, I know it's near your thumb, but it's been a couple of times already, like 3 or 4 times, maybe even more than that, where I need to get on the horn because of somebody's going to float out in front of you, or they're going to cut over into your lane, that kind of stuff. And when I say like in a panic, not really a panic, but when you go for your horn, I always want to go for the button that does your phone. This is kind of the phone button. So I'm over here hitting the button, and the thing's coming up here, and it's like, jeez. I'm not trying to call somebody, I want to hit the horn. So I wish it was up here. I wish they switched the buttons. They have the horn on the top. That's where my thumb wants to go. If I'm riding along, it goes right to there for the horn. So that's really about it. The rest of the bike it's pretty awesome. Handles pretty well for a big bike, 900 pounds. I think you do have to learn how to ride it. You do kind of got to throw the weight around a little bit, throw the bike around, but I think having the concourse had the same kind of issues with not necessarily being, oh jeez, this is where I'm talking about the road needs to be get paved. Where the concourse, you kind of had to push the weight around too. Didn't really have really great steering, but once you learn how to do it, it's easy. So I think from that experience over the years, coming onto this Goldwing, you just get right on it, you just ride it. It's got some torque, so if you want to pull away from the turns. It's got good sound to it for an old man's bike. Got a little sporty growl to the exhaust. And this is obviously the 6-speed version. I did test out the DCT. I guess it was okay. This bike has the same features with the sport modes and that kind of stuff. But I guess I'm a little nostalgic. I kind of like the shift, and I thought the DCT was a little jerky when you want to get into sport mode. This is a tad too, but not as much as a DCT. You just put tires on it, do your oil changes, and that you just put up on the center stand. There's just the oil plug underneath. You do your filter. Super easy. If you had a DCT model, you actually have to change the filter for the DCT, and you got to put an extra quart of oil on the bike. Now this is like 3.9. You got to put 4.9 in the DCT. Now, no big deal, but a tad more work when you're doing your maintenance. you very much. Some people are nice. They know they're just out sightseeing, and those guys at motorcycles want to kind of give it a little go. So I appreciate it. They're watching out for other people, like I always do. It's called having courtesy. I always was taught to have courtesy and to be friendly. And if you can give somebody the right of way, then you go ahead and do it. So here's the top of Caesar's Head. Just where you can pull in and get going on your trails, get some information, that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's probably like restrooms and that stuff in there too. And then down here towards the bottom of the park, then that's where you go to Ravencliff Falls. There's more trails on the bottom end here of the park. So that's pretty much it for riding the 276 on Caesar's Head. It's a fun road. Usually when I'm out riding, I head this way if I want to go up to Brevard or like Waynesville, that kind of stuff. Head up towards the Rattler, or if you want to go towards Marion with the Devil's Whip, this is a good route. And it's kind of like a good warm-up. Then you get excited for the rest of your day because you got your morning twisties in. Well, this is actually now in the afternoon, but usually I'm heading out in the morning. You get some twisties in, and you're like, yeah! You get excited. A lot of good roads here in the Carolinas. You know, you got the Dragon, and again, the Devil's Whip, that's towards Marion. You got the Sidewinder, that's Black Mountain. You got the Rattler, you got the Snake, that's up near Mountain City, Tennessee. So yeah, a lot of good roads. You even mentioned Route 28, that's the Moonshiner Highway. Goes up through Highlands and Cashiers in that area. So that's the video. Hope you guys have a great day and keep the shiny side up.